as promised on my first video, this first adventure is full of adrenaline. It's one of, I think it's at the top of the thrill-seeking activities list. I highly doubt there's anything kind of more insane to do. And the experience, of course, is skydiving. Skydiving has always been something I wanted to do. The experience was as amazing as I hoped for. It was actually, I think, beyond that even. It was absolutely amazing. Such a liberating experience. You really kind of test your limits with that. I mean, you know, jumping off a plane at 12,000 feet and 200 kilometers per hour speed, it is not a joke. I'm filming this video after the fact. I've already done it. My plan was kind of slightly different with regards to this video. I plan to pretty much film all the steps, you know, before, during, and after you know, skydiving and actually jumping off the plane. But unfortunately, my trip, you know, proved to be very, very long, and for that reason, there were a lot of moments that I just couldn't film. I was just so tired, or I was looking for, you know, my next ride. So I took trains and buses and cars. It was a very, very long trip, which I'll explain on this video. But yeah, because of that, unfortunately, my videos during the trip are very short, and I do apologize. This is technically the first adventure video, so I'm still kind of getting used to this, and I'm trying to learn like the best techniques and everything, so hopefully I get better in time. Since of course you cannot carry anything on you when you get on the plane, because you'll be jumping off of it and obviously things will fall off, so I couldn't really, you know, film anything myself. So in this video I'll be relying on some of the videos that Skydive Toronto sent me. There's some editing involved in them, but yeah, so I'll be basically using both. This is another reason why I didn't film a lot during my trip as well. If you're someone who's interested in skydiving, or you know somebody who's interested in skydiving, I would highly recommend watching this video till the end. I'll be sharing tips about the do's and don'ts of skydiving, really important stuff. Like, I did my research obviously before I did it, but after I actually went through that experience, I realized, well, a lot of things that I hope somebody had told me. So yeah, so I'll be sharing the do's and don'ts. Trust me, they're very important. You don't want to miss them. In order to explain my trip and what I did during it, my main trip was from Toronto's Union Station to Bradford Station, and then via train, and then I took a ride to the skydiving center. So that was the initial trip, and of course the trip back to Toronto was similar. So hi everyone, so I'm finally here, actually at Toronto Union Station. So in order to go to Skydive Toronto, which is in Cookstown, I have to take a train, which will take around 2 hours, and then I'm gonna have to take a ride to get there. So it's kind of really far, and I'm packed and everything right now, but it's so worth it. I cannot wait to go, and yeah, here we go. So finally inside the train. The wait was kind of long actually. So depending on which part of Canada you're coming from, you know, you're gonna have to find the best way to get there. But based on my trip today, I would say probably driving is the best, possibly the cheapest as well. So, but anyways, I am taking a train trip now, and once it is done, I'm gonna take a ride to the skydiving center. I don't know if they call them centers, but probably. Anyways, yeah, so I'll see you there. So I'm finally at Bradford Station. From here, I'm just gonna take a ride until I get to Skydive Toronto. I'm super excited. I've never really been to Bradford before, so today is actually kind of exciting. I got to see a lot of new places in Canada, which is kind of the whole point of this the entire vlog, isn't it? After a very long drive, I'm finally here. This is Skydive Toronto. It's kind of a very interesting area. Let's go in. Okay, so now I'm actually inside the center. Yeah, it looks fantastic. Noura.
Have you watched the safety video?
Oh, I already signed the waiver online.
There's an online and an in-person one.
Oh, really? Okay, so I registered. I was given this band right here. And basically now I have to wait. There are several people here today, so I'm just waiting for my turn. I'll be introduced to my instructor. And then as I understand it, we'll be taken to the plane. So
Nora, my friend, welcome to Skydive Toronto. How you doing today?
Hi, doing great. Thank you so much.
Buddy, we are about to go throw you out of an airplane. What's going through your mind right now?
Super excited.
Yes.
I've always wanted to do this.
Okay.
It's definitely something on my bucket list.
Amazing. So we're going to take you up 12,000 feet and throw you out of an airplane, 200 kilometers an hour, straight down to the ground. Nora, are you ready?
I am.
Give me a high five, buddy. Boom. We'll see you in the sky. Here we go.
The air is going in so fast! Yeah! I was trying to bridge.
Nora! Woo! Made it back to Earth, buddy. How are you feeling?
Oh my god, this is the most incredible experience I have ever had.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
Oh my
buddy.
god, it was amazing.
Would you come back and do it again?
Absolutely.
High five. Amazing job, Nora.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
I basically had to go to Toronto's Union Station. And from Toronto's Union Station, I took a train to Bradford, which I thought at the time was the closest station to Cookstown, where the skydiving center is actually located. I found out later, the hard way, unfortunately, that there's actually a closer one. It's called Barrie Station. For those who are thinking about that, please don't make my mistake. Go to Barrie next time. And then I took a ride to Skydiving Center. So yeah, so the wait and everything, and the training trip and the ride, everything between Toronto Union Station and the Skydiving Center took around 5 hours. That was my first trip. The return trip was an absolute nightmare, unfortunately, though the experience itself was absolutely magnificent. I unfortunately ended up missing my train back to Toronto, and that cost me a lot in terms of time and effort and also money, unfortunately. But yeah, it took me forever to actually find a train back to Toronto. So in order to explain what happened, basically after the skydiving experience itself was over, I had I had already missed my train. So Bradford is not it's not a very busy place, so there weren't that many trains to and from Toronto, unfortunately. So my initial booking was for the only afternoon train that day, which I ended up missing. And the reason I missed it is because I had to I thought the entire experience will take between, you know, 1 hour to 2, or something in between, but unfortunately it ended up taking way more than that. So and I highly recommend that you block at least 4 hours or so for this particular experience. Skydiving center team actually told me to block around 4 hours, but they said it's in case the weather changes. But before I made my bookings, and since my train was the only one in the afternoon, I was certain that it wouldn't take that long because the weather was actually perfect. It was a sunny day, the weather was clear. Just so you know, if the weather isn't clear, that'll let you jump for safety reasons, which of course makes a lot of sense. So if the weather ends up being cloudy or rainy or anything like that, you don't end up jumping. So, and of course, given how far I've come from, I couldn't really risk that. So I made sure that the day I went was actually a perfectly, you know, good weather day, and which it was, luckily for me. I mean, it could have changed, but luckily it didn't. But by the time I got to the Skydiving Center, unfortunately, there was just a whole lot of things to do, including a lot of paperwork. They had sent me paperwork to sign via email, which I did. So I didn't really expect to sign anything else. But when I got to the center, I did end up signing a whole lot of documents. So yeah, they're very, I mean, which is great. They're very concerned about safety. They want to make sure that you understand what you're doing, which is good, but I just didn't anticipate that it would take, I didn't anticipate actually signing anything at the center at all. And I certainly didn't anticipate that everything before I actually got on the plane would take so much time, which it ended up taking. So block some few hours at least for that, because you don't know what's going to happen. Also that day there were so many people there, so I had to wait for my turn even though I got there on time. So yeah, that part of it wasn't exactly perfect. So just make sure that you block enough hours in the day, you know, before you go. By the time I actually got to the plane, I think it took us around 10 minutes or something to actually reach 12,000 feet, which is where we jumped from. So yeah, it takes around that. And then, you know, inside the plane, the instructor basically explains all the safety features, what's going to happen and all that. I really want to thank Bodhi, who was my instructor for the day. Thank you so much, Bodhi, for all the great instructions and for bringing me back to the ground safely. I really appreciate that. It was amazing. It was very helpful, very clear. So he made sure that, you know, along the way I understood exactly what I'm supposed to do and what's going to happen, and he made sure that whatever concerns I had were actually addressed, which is really great. It's kind of a big deal. So thanks again for that, and to the entire Skydive Toronto team as well. So yeah, and then from there, after we get to 12,000 feet, this is basically when we jump off the plane, which was a remarkable experience, to say the least. It's just like they say, it's very liberating. It's incredible. You feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. This is amazing. And to me, I really wanted to feel, you know, kind of like a bird in a way. Like I really wanted to see what it's like to be kind of flying, which was remarkable. Regarding the do's and don'ts, there are a couple of things that I highly recommend that you do. As mentioned, the first thing is to block at least 4 hours, just in case. So don't make my mistake and book a return ticket so soon, because you might end up missing the train like I did. It took me hours. That actually took me almost, I believe it was 5 or 6 hours, getting pretty much stranded in this new place, new city of Bradford, which I knew nothing about. So, and my phone died, which kind of really complicated things. So it took me a very long while to book a return ticket to Toronto. Luckily, I ended up you know, catching a train before nightfall. By the time I returned to Union Station, I was so tired. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't film anything. I was hungry, I was tired, and I hadn't eaten pretty much anything that day because I was worried about, you know, getting sick after the jump, which was actually a good thing. I'm glad I didn't do that. I think it would have been a huge mistake had I eaten anything that day. Nobody really mentioned anything about eating, but I just thought it made sense. So it worked. I'm glad that part worked. The other thing that I would highly recommend is that you basically use a helmet on the way down. Now, I wish somebody told me that. I noticed after they sent me the video that the instructor was wearing a helmet, but everybody else, like all the skydivers weren't. And I don't know why. It seems to be like a thing. I don't know whether they think it would be more fun for us not to wear a helmet, or I don't know what it's about, honestly. But my favorite part about the entire experience, even before I actually did it, was the free fall part. You know, I wanted to feel like that. But of course, since we were so high up, the air is very thin, and the air pressure was unbelievably strong. It was this incredible air draft that was just going directly into my mouth. And during the free fall, I tried to enjoy it as much as possible, but unfortunately, I was barely breathing. I couldn't take a single breath. And I'm not joking here. I couldn't. For, I believe this free fall, I think they said it takes around 55 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, during the 55 seconds, I couldn't take a single breath. I tried. I mean, I was trying to scream and enjoy the experience, but at the same time, internally, I was really, really struggling to breathe. By the end, I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it looks like I'm about to pass out, which is true, because I think I was very close to passing out because I couldn't take another breath. Luckily, the instructor deployed the parachute before that happened, which is good. So yeah, that would definitely be my second don't. Do not jump without a helmet. It's just not right. I don't know why they don't do it. As I understand it, I learned after that that a lot of people, especially first time, they end up not breathing. So, you know, they actually don't breathe well. So apparently it's a thing. It's a thing that people don't talk about for whatever reason. So yeah, definitely jump with a helmet. Do not jump without one. I don't think that's wise. It really impaired my experience, I feel, and I wish I could breathe normally in order to enjoy the free fall itself and the views at the bottom. But after the parachute was deployed, I mean, you know, we were very high up. The view was absolutely incredible. It was amazing. The views, I mean, the lake, and, you know, there were a lot of farms, a lot of greenery. It was absolutely amazing. It took a while to descend back to the ground, and the landing was actually very interesting. I thought it would be harsher than it was. It wasn't so bad. They give you a whole lot of gear to wear, especially if the weather is too cold, which it was in my case. When the air went into my lungs, it wasn't just that the air pressure was too high, it was also very cold air, so I couldn't breathe. I felt it in my lungs. I felt like my throat was being scratched, and I just felt this overall pain in my mouth. That's how bad the air was, and that's why I highly recommend wearing a helmet, because I just felt like, oh, this is too painful for this. The other thing that I would also advise is this takes a toll physically on the body, which is something I hadn't thought about. Not that it would have stopped me. It wouldn't have stopped me, but still I wish I knew. Like the first thing, because the way they tie the helmet to you is very tight, which of course is necessary for safety reasons. You want the harness to be tight. So, and it's tight and it's attached to the instructor and of course to the parachute. You know, the harness is attached to all of us. And when we jump, it's basically carrying all of our weight, my weight, the instructors, and the parachute, which is a whole lot of weight. And because of that, it ended up leaving bruises on my body afterwards, which is okay. I mean, it's fine. But just get ready for that. Don't be surprised by seeing some bruising, and definitely expect some pain. Again, this isn't a natural height for a person to be at, so yeah, there was a lot of pain after that. Like there was a lot of soreness. Yeah, my body was very sore and my bones. I felt so tired, and of course my mouth was still hurting from from the cold air and the air pressure. And even like in the first couple of hours when I started eating after that, it actually hurt to eat. Even my teeth hurt because yeah, I mean, the cold weather, I didn't know what it did to my mouth and to my lungs and my throat, but it was not easy. So expect some pain. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's not severe pain or anything. I mean, it's tolerable pain, but it's pain nonetheless. So just make sure that you're not doing anything after that, or like right after. You will be in a little bit of pain, so expect that. So if you've seen my first video, I mentioned how I used to do a lot of outdoorsy and risky activities, and I'm planning on going back to doing that. So I feel like this was definitely a fantastic start. I mean, skydiving is at the very top of outdoorsy and thrill-seeking activities out there, and it's definitely the top of my bucket list and a lot of people's bucket list. So I'm really glad that I actually managed to do that. By the way, if you haven't caught my first video, please check it out in the link above. Let me know what you thought of this video. Again, I want to thank Skydive Toronto's team for what they did, and bringing me safely, and how conscientious they were about the safety features, and them making sure that I understand exactly what I need to do, and how to remain safe and all that. And again, thank you so much, Bodhi, not only for bringing me back safely and for your great clarifications and instructions, but also for your really fun videos. Thank you so much for being so engaged with the videos. I highly appreciate what you've done, and you took pretty much all the important angles. It's actually incredible. I don't know how you do that when you're jumping off a plane and you're actually responsible for another human being. So thank you. According to the skydiving center, now I can actually call myself a skydiver. So yay! That goes, to my resume or whatever. But now I guess I can call myself a skydiver. Although I don't know, but I feel like that might be an insult to the people who do this regularly. But technically I did jump off a plane, so I guess I could still call myself a skydiver. I hope you enjoyed it. I kind of wanted to start with something big because I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what to expect on the channel. I know in my first video I already explained that. If you found this interesting, please subscribe. If you like the videos, please comment, let me know what you think, and definitely what you want me to do next. If you have any nice spots that you'd like me to visit in Canada especially, please let me know, and I will do my best in order to get there and give you feedback on that. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, life is short, let's not waste it.